You know hundreds, maybe thousands of English words. You can read articles, pass grammar tests, and understand movies. But the second someone at a dinner party asks you a spontaneous question, everything stops. That silence is a physical delay. Your brain is trying to navigate a processing loop that simply takes too long for a live conversation. By the time you finally assemble a response in your head, the moment is gone. Many learners respond to this by trying to memorize even more vocabulary. However, fluency requires moving away from the dictionary and focusing entirely on the internal translation process happening in your head. No matter how many words you know, as long as your brain relies on translating thoughts from your native language into English, you will always be one step behind the rhythm of the conversation. For a native speaker, thought and speech happen at the same time. It's a zero-step process where the idea and the words arrive simultaneously. Most learners are forced into a four-step loop. Hear English, switch to your native language, translate back to English, then check grammar before speaking. Traditional schooling reinforces this delay. Prioritizing grammar rules and translation exercises turned this slow loop into a hardened neural pathway. This pathway is now a physical habit. But because the brain is flexible, a concept known as neuroplasticity, you can rewire these connections to bypass that slow, four-step loop entirely. If the problem is a physical habit in the brain, the solution requires a method that addresses the underlying neural architecture. The first stage of that rewiring is to overwhelm the brain's translation reflex. You do this through deep comprehensible input. This involves taking a short English audio story and listening to it repeatedly, 50 times or more in a single week. Crucially, you do this entirely by ear, without looking at the text. It's like recognizing a friend's face. You don't consciously analyze their features. You look at them and instantly know who they are. Mass repetition forces the subconscious to recognize language patterns in that same way. When you hear the same story dozens of times, your brain eventually gives up on translating and begins to understand the meaning directly. But if you stop analyzing grammar rules, how do you ensure you're speaking correctly? The strategy relies on point-of-view stories. You listen to the exact same narrative told across 3 different timeframes: the past, the present, and the future. By hearing identical vocabulary applied across these timelines, your brain maps the structure automatically. You hear walk, shift to walked, and then to will walk, and your mind builds a pattern of the tenses without you ever looking at a chart. This creates grammatical intuition. It's the way native-speaking children learn. They don't study past participles, but they can feel when a sentence sounds wrong. In a live conversation, having an intuitive feeling for the language is much faster and more reliable than trying to calculate grammar via memorized rules. Once the input is established, you have to force your brain to abandon the native language entirely through active output. Shadowing is one of the most effective tools for this. It involves listening to a native speaker and speaking along with them at the exact same time, matching their speed and rhythm perfectly. Shadowing activates your auditory processing and motor cortex simultaneously, forcing the brain to build rapid, direct links between hearing the language and producing it. You can push this further with the listen and answer method. You listen to a prompt and force yourself to respond to a simple question out loud and immediately, without a single second of hesitation. AI conversation partners are now excellent for this, providing unpredictable, back-and-forth dialogue in a judgment-free environment. You can even incorporate daily narration, the habit of speaking to yourself out loud about mundane tasks, like making coffee, to practice generating English sentences in real time. These high-speed exercises reduce the time available for translation, eventually forcing the brain to adapt its pathways to accommodate instant English. Building a new automatic pathway requires deliberate practice over a 90-day window. This comparison shows that consistency always wins. 15 minutes of daily out-loud practice leads to compounding growth, while large sporadic weekly sessions usually result in a plateau. Eventually, you'll reach a point where someone asks you a question in real life, and the English answer simply arrives in your mind instantly, without any native language interference. To reach that level of fluency, you have to rewire your approach. By putting away the textbooks and training your brain to think entirely in English, you finally allow the language to flow naturally.